Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, my apologies. We have been off for the last few days and we were unable to do our live stream that we do every Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I was constrained by travel. As you can see, I'm on location right now. I'm in the great state of Missouri, but we are now back to give you this boxing content. Now, Jay, I thought that this was an interesting video that we needed to do because it highlights and demonstrates some of the things that we have said about Shakur Stevenson in the past. And I think it's critical that we call these things out, Jay. Now, recently, Shakur Stevenson did an interview with the Ring magazine and he spoke on Keyshawn Davis' unwillingness to fight Teofimo Lopez just due to some of the comments that Teofimo Lopez has made in the past. I just took those comments from Shakur Stevenson on face value in terms of his willingness to fight Teofimo Lopez because he was talking in generalities. Now he's on his social media account essentially calling out Teofimo Lopez, saying, if I'm not mistaken, on God, he would move up to 140 pounds to face Teofimo Lopez. Now, again, this is what we have to highlight on this channel and call out because the supporters of Shakur Stevenson will tell you that all fighters are avoiding Shakur Stevenson. They don't want any of all that defense. And now Teofimo Lopez, because Shakur Stevenson has gone to his social media account and called him out, they will now lump Teofimo Lopez in that pool of fighters that are uninterested in facing Shakur Stevenson. But this has been
Absolutely.
Shakur's game the entire time. This is what he does. Now, we know that Teofimo Lopez is scheduled to face Barbosa in May. Once he faces Barbosa, assuming he wins, Teofimo Lopez would not be ready to fight anyone until maybe September, right? Because you're going to have to take some time off,
Yeah.
depending on how difficult the fight was, etc. I think the earliest we could possibly see him back in the ring is September, which means that already you're calling out a fighter that if you were to fight him, it's months off, at least about 6 months off. But here's the real issue behind this. And the reason why I have an issue with Shakur Stevenson even going down this path, right? And putting this out there. He knows what he does, what he's doing when he does these types of things.
He's slick. Yeah.
Jay, what is the plan for Teofimo Lopez after he faced Barbosa, assuming he defeats Barbosa?
Turk already got him planning to fight Boots, more than likely. That's the
That's
plan.
correct. That's absolutely right. That is absolutely right. That's what Eddie Hearn has already mentioned. Shakur Stevenson mentioned that we do business with some of the same people. Well, if you do business with some of the same people, then you already know what the plan is for Teofimo Lopez. As a matter of fact, we don't do business with the same people that you do business with, yet we know what the plan is for Teofimo Lopez because it's been put out there. So why are you throwing this out there on social media for fans to cling to talk about this fight when you know that there is absolutely positively no chance for this fight to materialize. And these are the games that Shakur Stevenson has played in the past and gotten the I don't want to call it the benefit of this, but he has been given a pass, Jay. He's given a pass as
Every
though
time.
he is trying, and then he'll go and fight somebody like Josh Padley, or he'll try to fight someone like Joe Cordina, right? And they'll all say,
Best.
see, he had to do that because none of these fighters will fight him. He's called. What do you want him to do? He's called out all these guys. They won't fight him when all these guys already have plans. So, Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
Every
I
time.
felt that needed to be called out because we see it so much, not only from Shakur Stevenson, but fighters in general. What's your thoughts on that?
The only thing I give Shakur in this is the fact that he was kind of responding to Tio, but he's still calling a fighter he knows since he does with the same people that Tio's already gonna be is locked up for this fight and his next fight. He already knows this, but yet and still, he said in another tweet that he only wants the big names. But last year he was signed up to fight who? Joe Cordina in October until he came out. He pulled out with the injury. That's the guy that was fighting at 130, just got TKO'd by a guy that had 33% knockout ratio. That's not the big name that he claims he wants. Then he was talking about he never mentioned Tank's name before neither until he said it was supposed to be George Cordina, then William Zepeda. Zepeda had a tough fight with Farmer. That kind of got pushed to the back of the bus. So that wasn't in there. So he's constantly doing this. He does this every time. Him and other fighters do this as well. But Shakur definitely does this because he talks a lot on Twitter and does the same old, and he gets a pass with it, and it's tiring. We know Shakur is a heck of a fighter. We don't take nothing away from on that. He can fight his butt off. But dude, stop acting like you're that man or that you want all the smoke when you're doing it strategically to get your name out there again and get people to try to protect you. Try to make sense. Oh, this guy's ducking me. This guy's ducking me. When Herrera is calling you out right now, he's calling you. He wants to fight with you. Now I believe you agree. I agree with most people saying that he's not ready for you. But hey, he's calling to fight you. You saying no one wants to fight you, but this guy clearly wants to fight you. He has some power, and he has reach, and he has height. He's calling you out. Fight him. Since everyone else don't want to fight you supposedly, but he's available. You're available. Why not? But Tio's not available. So stop calling out people that's not available, or you go to a promotional company that's not aligned with that particular fighter, and then you gonna call them out still when you had opportunity to go to that same promotional company to fight that fighter. Makes no sense to me.
You know what's going to be interesting? Because we've heard over the last couple of days that they are getting close to making that Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch. You're going to hear so many fighters now start to come out of the woodwork calling out Tank, constantly
You
talking
know,
about how they want to fight Tank and da 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 and this, that, and the third. And a lot of it, in my opinion, I'm truly not saying fighters are some of these fighters are afraid. I'm really not, Jay. I just think a lot of these fighters take it's promotion. They have figured out how to promote
mhm,
themselves through Gervonta Davis. And you're going to start to hear that. And a lot of the fight fans, they simply don't get it, right? This is what they want to do. They want to stir these pots. They want to stir these conversations. And honestly, I can't necessarily say I'm mad at them because they give us content to talk about. So I
facts.
can't necessarily say I'm 100% like upset that Shakur will do something like this or Keyshawn Davis will do something like this because it creates a fervor amongst their core constituency, if you will, in terms of the people that support them and their fight fans or whatever. And it also creates a fervor in terms of their opponents' fight fans. So I can't necessarily be mad about it, but I have to call it out and call a spade a spade. And in my personal opinion, a lot of this is
Absolutely.
promotional. And Shakur Stevenson, that I don't care if Teofimo issued that or not. You can say one day I will fight you. At the point I know that you got Barbosa, you probably gonna fight so and so next. But hey, if after those fights I'll come up. But when you start talking like this and you don't add clarity to what it is that you're saying, you know people are gonna pick up on this and they're gonna say, "See, he trying to fight Tio, but Tio ain't gonna fight him. Man, what that's all about?" So
Everyone wants to fight him. He wants to fight everybody.
exactly. So you guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to this. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast and Sports Media, and we are out. What's that all about?